I spoke last lesson about present simple and present continuous. Here we have an example of present simple, and here an example in red of present continuous. And I want to show you that present simple and present continuous, they have a relationship with past simple and past continuous. They are similar. So if we have a timeline here, and this is the present moment, for repeated present moments, for example, I go to work on Sundays, we use present simple, go. And we do this because on the timeline the action is finished and regular. Okay, every Sunday I go to work. There it is. But if we say I am going to work, present continuous means that the action is unfinished. And so I want you to think of a little bar each time you say I am going to work, you mean you were in the middle of going to work. Perhaps you were driving in your car and something happened when you were going to work. Okay, so perhaps you were speaking to your friend at the same time and you said, I'm sorry, I can't talk at the moment, I am going to work, I am driving. Okay, so you're in the middle of that action, it's unfinished for continuous. Well, it's exactly the same with past continuous. If we change these sentences to a past sentence and we say, I went to work, and we write this in blue just to show it's past simple, I went to work. Now maybe it was on Sunday, that doesn't matter, I went to work on Sunday. Yeah, why not? I went to work on Sunday, it will just be here on the timeline. I was going to work, which sounds like a very unfinished sentence as well, not just an unfinished action but an unfinished sentence. I was going to work when something happened. So I was going to work when ... Because this is continuous, I should have done it in red, sorry, let's put a red box around it. This is here, it's unfinished again, it's an interrupted action. It means you were in the middle of going to work when, I don't know, maybe you ran over a cat, or maybe your friend called you on your phone. Doesn't matter, but the point is the journey was unfinished. You were going, it was an unfinished journey, you were in the middle of it. So past simple and past continuous are related to present simple and present continuous. On these diagrams, they certainly are. And you will see I'm going to use these diagrams to explain all the English tenses, because it's perhaps the best explanation for English tenses. Okay, so you can see the form up here of past simple. Went for positive sentences, didn't go for negative, did you go for questions. And with past continuous we have I was going, you weren't going, or were they going, which is of course a question in the end. Okay, so let's look at some examples now of when we use past continuous and when we use past simple. Okay, so when do we use past continuous and past simple? I want you to think in terms of these diagrams and look at the following sentences. We often use past continuous. What were you doing? This is of course past continuous, the were you doing. What were you doing at 10 AM yesterday? And this is because 10 AM is a single moment in time. It's like a past simple moment, 10 AM yesterday. We think of it as one moment in time, just like past simple is one moment in time. And so at 10 AM yesterday, I was teaching Ivan, perhaps. I don't know. What were you doing at 10 AM yesterday? Think about the answer in your head in English. What were you doing at 10 o'clock yesterday? Maybe you were sleeping, maybe you were working, maybe you were relaxing, I don't know. Okay, so with any times in the past, we often are referring to what were you in the middle of doing at 3:30 today? I don't know, maybe you were in the middle of homework, so you were doing homework at 3:30. Perhaps you were doing homework. Okay? So each time we have the unfinished action, were doing, it wasn't finished at 3:30, you were in the middle of it at 3:30, and we have this past simple moment. But we could just use, yes, past simple, like in this sentence. What were you doing when the phone rang? Okay, ring, rang, rung. So this is the second form, this is past simple. Now again, it's exactly the same on our line. except the past simple moment. The phone rang is here. The phone rang. So what were you doing when the phone rang? Maybe you were reading a newspaper. Yeah, you were reading a newspaper, but you hadn't finished it. You were in the middle of reading a newspaper when the phone rang. What were you doing when the accident happened? When you have an accident, usually you use past simple and past continuous. For example, I fell over when I was riding my bike. You hadn't finished riding your bike, you were in the middle of riding your bike when you fell over. Okay, now you should remember not to use stative verbs in continuous. I talked about state or stative verbs. These are mental states. So you don't say I was liking, I was knowing, I was understanding. No. Remember, there are no mental states, no stative verbs in past continuous. We just use past simple for a stative verb. But a second moment when we use, a second point I should make about past continuous is while. It's a good signal word to remember for past continuous. Sometimes you see while with past simple, but I wouldn't use it like that because it's not very easy to use correctly like that, and it's usually past continuous. The idea of this word while means in the middle of, and so I would always use past continuous. Let me give you 2 examples. He interrupted me while I was giving my speech. If you're giving a speech at a wedding and somebody heckles you, somebody shouts something at you, they interrupt you, well, we still have exactly the same line. He interrupted me while I was giving. I should do that in red again, sorry. He interrupted me while I was giving my speech. It's exactly the same. You were in the middle of the speech and he interrupted you. Okay, so that would be the past simple and that would be the past continuous. Yes. Now, one thing I should also mention is that we can have 2 past continuous actions together. And this is because you can really have a timeline like this, with 1 action happening, which is finished, and 2 unfinished actions. For example, the sun was shining, the birds were singing, and my friend came to see me. Yeah, the sun didn't finish shining when the friend came, and the birds didn't finish singing. So, yeah, in this sentence I've used a different one. I was doing the housework while he was cooking. Then Alex arrived. So again, it follows this pattern on the diagram. Okay, thanks for listening. I hope that helps you decide which verb is past simple and which is past continuous. Just remember finished or unfinished. Are you in the middle of a process or is the process finished? If you remember that, you should be able to get them right each time. Okay, thanks for watching. This video was on behalf of the Learn English Easy as Pie group and English with Pleasure, Alexander Lebedev, and Learn English with Pie with Mojtabi Yakubi. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you would like to watch some more, and yeah, I'll be making more videos as soon as I can, and hopefully with a microphone and with better lighting. Thanks for watching.